let's get back to Madrid and let's talk about this Derbi Madrileño we have coming up on Saturday. I mean, since the last time we met, things are looking up for you. You know, Real Madrid's top of the league. I think it's about 12 games now in the league that Real Madrid's unbeaten.
Correct.
It's 8 wins, 4 draws, 4 conceded goals only.
Yeah, I mean they are.
Flying.
Yeah, they're flying. I mean, it started to happen around November. That this team started to look like a team. They are building from their defense. I mean, they have the best defense in football right now in the 5 big leagues. And then offensively, they are struggling a little bit because I did yesterday a video on my channel, and they are failing in providing good balls to the strikers. For example, Jovic and Benzema combined have only 11 touches inside the box in the last 3 games. I think that's a problem for Real Madrid. But on the other hand, I think you should look to the silver lining because they are winning. They are top of the table without this production of the strikers that will eventually come for Real Madrid. I'm sure that Benzema is going to be hot again, that the team is going to create more clear chances because I mean they had a problem of effectiveness midway the season. Right now they are being pretty effective because in Getafe, in against Seville and in Valladolid, they didn't have that much amount of clear chances, but they were able to finish. And we go back to my first point. If you are not conceding goals, a team like Real Madrid is going to find their ways to the opponent's goal. So I think that if Real Madrid stays that reliable in defense, they are conceding slightly more than half a goal per game. They are going to win this thing, especially because Barcelona is not a reliable team. Every road game for Barcelona is a mess.
Just wanted to add defensively, as you said, I was really impressed that in the game against Seville, where Ramos missed in the center of defense, you couldn't really tell. I mean, Real Madrid dealt with it. Yes, they conceded, and there was this also VAR situation with the Young's goal, but they looked solid, you know, in contrast with maybe that night in Paris in the Champions League where we saw Militao in the defense with Varane and they didn't work as well.
Yeah, Militao played in Getafe too. He played against Seville and he's doing great. I think he's fast, he's physical, he's an aggressive centre half. So yeah, I think they have the personnel to build this defense. They have a system and the players have bought into this Zidane defensive system. I think he explained to them that this was the only way or the easiest way they have to win La Liga because I mean I think they should have more goals, but there are different ways of winning games and on winning championships. And right now the goal difference between Barcelona and Real Madrid is 1 goal above Barcelona with I think 12 or 15 goals scored less. So it's the balance that it's leading Real Madrid to be, for me, the top candidate right now to win in La Liga.
And you mentioned Zidane. Let's talk about Zizou because you talk about him a lot in your videos. He doesn't get enough credit for me. You know, he's come back into this Real Madrid that looked like everything was doom and gloom. He's turned things around again. He's won the Super Cup. Obviously, we can talk a lot about the format and should Real Madrid and Atletico been there. But if they're there already, of course, they're going to get their hands on the trophy, and he did that. He's consisted with Valverde back in the team, who's become a revelation. I mean, what can we say? He's won every final that he's been in.
There isn't much we can say because he's the only manager in the history of football who went undercredited after winning 3 Champions League in a row, something no one has ever done in the modern era or in the Champions League era. So if we start from that point, what else he can do to be credited as one of the greatest managers in the world, as I think he is. I mean, it's not a matter of thinking or opinion or whatever, it's the fact.
Yes, it's a fact.
And right now I think he's dealing with a different material in Real Madrid. That team had Ronaldo. Obviously, when you have a player like Ronaldo, winning football games and winning championships is going to be a bit easier. But he built a great team. He developed some young players. He did a lot of things, and he played under different systems, which is one of his signatures, I think, because he started with a 4-3-3. Then he's been able to move on to play with 5 midfielders or with 4 midfielders and 1 number 10, for example, like Isco. He did that in 2 Champions League finals in 17 and 18, and he's been very flexible in all related to tactics. And he's been very smart in personal decisions, not only about being a good guy, bad guy with the players, but when it comes down to detecting the talent and to make football front office decisions, he's been extremely successful. This summer he got 3 midfielders, different type of midfielders like Llorente, Valverde and Ceballos. The press here were praising about how good Ceballos and Llorente are, and he said, no, I want Fede Valverde, and now Fede Valverde is arguably one of the best midfielders in the game. He brought Mendy and he's performing. He brought Varane back in 2011 when no one knew Varane.
Well, speaking of managers, on the other side, it's a totally different situation. Obviously, Simeone going through a lot of criticism, and Atletico, they hadn't won in the last 2 games in La Liga. They were knocked out in the Cup by Cultural Leonesa, a 3rd division team in Spain. How does Atletico come into this game? You know, they haven't been playing away well in the league. I think they won only 3 times in their away games, and now coming to the Bernabeu at a time that we just mentioned, Real Madrid's on top of their game.
I think they're in problem because I feel that Simeone's message is winding down. Yeah, they are going to accomplish their goals this season because their goal is making it to the next Champions League. But I feel that moving forward, I don't think Simeone is the right man. I mean, it might sound crazy. Keeping Simeone might be the smartest choice in the end of the day, but I feel that his message is not that clear right now. He's struggling to develop young players like Lemar, like Joao Felix. I think he needs time with Felix, but he's struggling to develop this kind of players. And I feel that they don't have their signature aggressiveness anymore, for example. So, and I think they have some parts of the game, of the mentality, of the approach to the games that aren't good enough. For example, they have problems to start fast the games, especially on the road. I think that's under the skin of this team, and I think that's because they might need a new voice in that locker room. I always say is that it's like Simeone right now. The biggest 2 things of Simeone is how Atletico used to be before Simeone, and how Atletico might look without Simeone in the future. But I think he's one of the best managers in the last decade, hands down. What he has done in Atletico Madrid is tremendous. He has changed the club. He has changed the culture, and I want to think that culture he has changed, the things he has brought to this team, are solid enough to survive without Simeone, at least for a while.
And do you think that Super Cup result, obviously Real Madrid winning after on penalties, do you think that's going to affect also this game, being the most recent derby that we had?
Yeah, I mean, the history between these both is wider than the Super Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a few months after losing in Lisbon, they beat Real Madrid in the Spanish Super Cup. They beat Real Madrid 4-0 after the Lisbon thing, but I don't think it's going to affect to La Liga, especially because I think they played a good game in the Super Cup final, not in the semi-final, for example.
Yeah.
They were absolutely a mess during 70 minutes against Barcelona. Barcelona should have put that game way away, the Atletico de Madrid, before the final 15 minutes, but he had a couple of disallowed goals, a good decision, but I mean, both were very close. If Barcelona had scored the 3rd goal in the Super Cup, they would have won Atletico de Madrid, and the doubts would be bigger around this team. But again, they did great in the final against Real Madrid. They played a very good game, in my opinion, and it was a close one. So I expect a close one.
No, I agree with you. It's definitely going to be a close game. I think apart from last year where Real Madrid won 3-1 at Wanda, all the last games have been 0-0s or 1-1s. The last 3 here at the Bernabeu have been draws.
Correct. I was about to say that I couldn't remember last time Real Madrid beat Atletico here in La Liga, because they won 2015 and 2017. They beat Atletico Madrid here in the Champions League. But yeah, in La Liga it's been a different story.
So let's talk about the starting 11s. What do you think Zizou is going to pick?
That's impossible to know. I mean, that's impossible.
Impossible with Zidane.
Yeah, I mean, in defense, the things are clear.
Yeah.
I think Carvajal and Mendy will start in the wings, and Varane and Sergio Ramos will play. I think that Casemiro and Kroos are going to play for sure, but Benzema is going to play for sure. But then it might be Rodrigo and Valverde and Modric. 4-4-2, something like that. Because I mean, he has a chance. I mean, with Zidane, everything's possible. I can't imagine a starting lineup against Atletico without Pedro Valverde, especially because it has a kind of symbolism. Because the first time Valverde started under Zidane was against Atletico de Madrid in Wanda Metropolitano. We were expecting maybe James was playing decent at that moment. Modric, I think he was available to go after coming from an injury, but he picked Valverde, and the rest is history. He's been a game changer for Real Madrid in this season since he became a regular star.
Yeah, there was an update this week that Eden Hazard won't make it back for this derby. It will be hopefully for the game against Manchester City in the Champions League.
Yeah, hope he has some action before that game, so he can be as close as to being 100%.
And do you expect any changes or any surprises from Cholo Simeone's lineup? Usually he goes with Correa and Morata up front, 4-4-2.
Yeah, I mean,
the classic four midfielders.
Yeah, correct. It's easier to predict a Simeone lineup, and yeah, I think he will try to put a solid team, and then they will play with aggressiveness. They know how to play Real Madrid, but because they played a good game in Arabia, they played a good game in the first leg of La Liga. So yeah, I think it's going to be a close one, and I'm sure that Simeone is going to try to persuade his players that this might be a turning point for them in the season, because the Champions League is around the corner too. They have, for me, a virtual impossible tie against Liverpool, but they need something. They need to build something to believe on.
Well, let's see what will happen on Saturday. Derbi Madrileño. The whole city is expecting this game, so there's going to be a lot of atmosphere here. I know you're going to be here at the Bernabeu, covering live, so make sure you tune in to Bein Sports. Of course, go and watch I Am Madridista for the latest updates on Real Madrid. Iñaki, thanks again for coming here.
It's my pleasure.
Guys, don't forget to subscribe, like. If you like this type of content, we're going to be doing more things about the Spanish La Liga. See you from Madrid. Bye-bye.
See you.